I'm the Sergeant at Arms. My name is Chantal. I've met all of you, I think. And so it's my job to just bring the meeting to order. I think everyone knows where the toilets are. No one's, there are 2 new people. The toilets are down there, and I'm not sure about the men's actually. So I think down there to the left. And we just like to ask that when the speakers are speaking, that we can remain seated. And yeah, just be respectful about that space, because last week we had people getting up and down. I think people didn't know. So we just usually, when we give the speeches, everyone usually sits. And now it's my privilege to hand over to our club president, Justine Norman. Thank you. Just leave this here because we do need this. Does everyone have a drink? There's something to cheers us. Okay. Sorry about the late start and the technical difficulties. It seems as if our beautiful district didn't pay for our Zoom fees. So we've got lack of Zoom fees. So we have 45 minutes quickly to get through everything, and then we'll make a new plan, but we should be good. So thank you for your patience. So good evening, everybody, our fellow Toastmasters, our members, and our guests. Welcome to you all. It's so lovely to have you. And today's theme is quite a powerful one, with Make It Happen. So Make It Happen is our theme tonight. And then I wanted to share with you, we were completely out of the link here, but on the 21st of September, it was our birthday. So, Bubbles, please pop this up to Bubbles. And we turned 7 on the 21st of September. So that was quite something. And I thought it was quite a good idea to just share how the club started. And I'm just giving you a very brief sort of overview. I'm sure Madeleine perhaps knows more. But 7 years ago, Verity was the district director. And so that's quite high up. And she was in charge of opening up new clubs in Cape Town, and she founded ToastEd. So that's how we came about, and that's how we are here today. And so we definitely need to celebrate, and I'm grateful that every one of you is here, and you are making this beautiful club as amazing as it is. So thank you. It wouldn't be the same without you. And yeah, so I'd like to raise a glass to our wonderful ToastEd Club on our 7th birthday. We'll have to remember next year, the 21st of September. And happy birthday. Cheers. Okay, then we continue to celebrate with our new members that we are inducting tonight. So I'd like to welcome Jeremy, and I'd like to welcome Luke. You can both please come up to the front. It's your time to try. Okay, so you just make sure you're in the beautiful camera. Oh, sorry. Are you good with what you're saying? Everyone's good to go. Right, we've got our two newest members that haven't been inducted yet, just because I wasn't here last meeting, and we don't like to do it online, just because it's more friendly and welcoming if we do it in person. So, Jeremy and Luke, this is just sort of a little welcome to the club. It's a little vow that we ask you to take on. It's very simple. You just say I do to all of the things. And then,
they got the mistake before.
It's a different one, I promise. And then we as a club will sort of say we do to support. So we welcome Luke and Jeremy. Not yet. To our club. Being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a commitment to self-development. Everyone who joins Toastmasters clubs is making a commitment to the club, to its members, and to the organization as a whole. I think that's what we often forget, is that it's not just us as Toast and Toastmasters. There's so many other clubs in Cape Town. We've got a guest visiting us, 2 guests visiting us tonight from different clubs. So please indicate your commitment by saying I do to each point in the Toastmasters promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and ToastEd Toastmasters, do you promise to attend club meetings regularly?
I do. I do.
Great. To prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program.
I do.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
I do.
too. To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations.
I do.
To help the club maintain, should we just say I do at the very end?
Yeah.
To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow. To willingly serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so. To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy. To bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmaster memberships offers. And to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs. And last one, to act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
I do.
I do. Great. Thank you.
May I add something before I say I do?
Yeah, sure.
Have a lot of fun.
Have a lot of fun while doing it, definitely.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Then will you, as the members of ToastEd, pledge to support these new members in their quest for self-development, to provide them with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, fun, supportive atmosphere, to give them opportunities to help others, and to make their Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience? If so, please say, I will. I will. I will.
Oh.
There we go. Now, I'd like each of you, Jeremy and Luke, have decided to just give a little impromptu, not quite impromptu, but just a little blurb about them so they can introduce themselves a little bit to the club. You like to start?
I have decided.
I have decided.
Well, that's one way of putting it. Jeremy, can you do this?
I decided for
You just, so Justine asked me to say who I am, and I actually struggled a little bit with the question. For those who have heard my speech a month ago, that was a pivotal moment, but it was also about facing my monsters and finding my freedom, which has allowed me to rediscover who I really am. And I'm on that journey to still figure that out. What came naturally or natural to say was I'm on a mission to help with the inner transformation journeys of many people. And that's my single most important goal in life, life's purpose, really. To do so, I'm aiming for 1 million people. To do so, I had to let go of becoming a coach because the one-on-one session would take me, well, a long time. And instead, my team said you should become a public speaker. And so here I am, becoming a public speaker. And I'm very grateful to do so in a group of such a warm, welcoming group that I consider to be friends and family. So thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I was also persuaded into impromptu.
Yeah.
It was Jeremy's decided to do this, so would you like to announce? Have to.
I gave them
No.
options. I did give them options.
Yeah, I'm Luke, and I decided to join Toastmasters to work on communicating better and maybe getting a bit out of my comfort zone. So I'm usually quite introverted. This is new to me. But yeah, I think a bit about me. I'm a self-taught software developer who's proudly founded my own company. And part of that is leading a small team and guys that look up to me and people that are expecting things from me. I haven't quite figured out exactly who I am yet, but I'm on the path and figuring it out. And yeah, they look to me for guidance, and sometimes I have to look in the mirror and go, "Jeez, I don't know if you're the right guy to guide me," but I'm learning, and I'm here to learn and hopefully grow and overcome challenges and learn from you guys and your experiences and what you have to share with me. And from what I've experienced so far, it's been really interesting, really exciting, and I've had a good time, so I'm back for more.
Yay! Thank you both. You can relax now. Great, thank you, everybody. We now take some time to welcome all our lovely guests in the room. I don't see anyone online. I was expecting a few online, but I don't see anyone right now. So I'm just going to whiz around. Yeah, welcome. Hello. Hi. So Andrea joined us last time online, and she won Best Table Topics, so that was very exciting.
Don't know how.
You spoke from the heart, that's why. Would you like to share with us why you're back with us?
I found it extremely interesting. I do enjoy talking. I'm here to improve though, because the confidence level, I identify with you. Especially speaking in front of an audience, it's always a little bit more nerve-wracking. And I just want to sort of brush up those skills and feel positively to be able to stand in front of a crowd and speak.
Okay, great. Thank you. Amazing. Okay, now guest. Trevor, you are part of our furniture as a guest. Welcome back. Trevor's from Talking Heads, and he is also our area director. So thanks for I think you were more persuaded into coming today rather than signing up. Yeah. But what brings you to Toastmasters or ToastEd? I don't know if you can see it.
And here to fulfill a role as the general evaluator.
Okay.
You know what they say? When you're a general evaluator, Murphy's law comes in. And this evening, okay, I'll leave it for my feedback. So yeah, I'm interested to give you some feedback at the end. But I always enjoy coming to Thursday. It's such a good vibe.
Thank you, and thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
And then Madeleine, she is our fairy godmother, and she guided us a lot last year when you needed her the most, as well as this evening when Zoom was being funny. So Madeleine, welcome back. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I love being here always. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank
I'm
you.
glad I have somebody who's taken over my shoes.
Yes. So Madeleine was the area director last year, so Trevor has taken her spot. And then Paul, welcome back. You have visited us twice now. Yeah, welcome back. What brings you back? You loved it so much?
I had a great time.
Yeah.
With great people and an opportunity to speak and feel the thrill, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, awesome. So you're going to be a new member quite soon. Gabrielle will be coming very quickly. And then Hutton, you and sorry, your friend's name? Abdullah, yes, I've joined with Catherine. Welcome. Would you like to share anything? Where are you from?
So we're from Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening for everybody.
Oh, thank you. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed this evening with us. And I haven't left out anybody else. No. Our online people have abandoned us. Where it was. Before I forget, all of our members, here we have our very beautiful tree, which is called, it's like our sort of like goals and ambitions for the year in Toastmasters. So one of our old Toastmasters members, she painted this. And so we photocopied it and we just sort of use it every year. So I please encourage all of our members to, here are the pencils, you have to write quite hard if it's in. You just come and you write your name and you put in your intention. Intention tree, that is it. Put in your intention for the year. So if it's courage, if it's confidence, whatever it might be, share that with us. And John and Libby and Shifa, if you would like to just message me in the chat, I can write it on the tree for you if you're happy with that. Great. So that is your little project in the break to please come and write your intentions for the year. Before I hand over to our Toastmaster of the evening, our wonderful Claire, I would just like to tell you about these, and then we'll do our toast to South Africa and all the speakers. These little notes, this is the first time you are allowed to send notes to everyone in the room. You aren't going to get into trouble. So please, these little woohoo notes, you make little notes on anyone that's spoken, anyone you want to just share a little woohoo, words of encouragement, just write a little words down and then pass it to them or go and give it to them. So this is allowed. We encourage this so that people can be uplifted and encouraged to speak more. Then I ask you again, lots of celebrating, hey? We celebrate again and we just raise our glasses to South Africa and all her speakers. To South Africa and all her speakers. Cheers. And now it's my privilege to hand over to Claire. Thank you, Claire.
Sorry. Good evening, everybody. So I went to visit Sally, and on her mirror, she has this beautiful thing, which I in her bathroom. And I was like, that's really cool. And it says, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Is that not perfect for our theme tonight? So I'd like you all to write that down and go and put it up somewhere that you look at regularly through your day, because that's what's really important. Decide and make it happen. So I'll read it again. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. And that's Ralph Waldo Emerson that created that quote. I also, for our members online, I gave everybody in the room a little piece of paper and I asked them to write down something they must start doing, something they must stop doing, and something they must continue doing that will make your life better in some way. So if everybody can write that down, and then if you'd like to be held accountable, you can send it to me. And I will check in with you and see how you're doing, if you'd like to be held accountable, or if you want to find another member in the club to hold you accountable, then say, hey, Sally, would you mind holding me accountable? Here are my start, stop, and continue things. Just as a way that those little things can make life so much better. Onto our program. So we have role players. So we're running a little bit behind time. So if you can be as brief as possible, I'd like our counter, which is Justine, if you can please come and introduce your role.
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster and fellow guests, and our Toastmasters, of course. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone that speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, you know, yeah is also one. And I apparently did like a lot last time. I'll also listen for filler sounds, including and I'll also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, this means, and at the end of the meeting, I will report back.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Then, Catherine, if you can please come and explain the role of grammarian and give us the word of the day, please.
So, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, lovely to have you here. So my role is grammarian, typical for an English teacher. So, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. So that means things like, are they using the right tenses? Is the sentence structure okay? I'll try not to be too anal, I promise. And also I'll take note of any improper language, like the wanners and the gunners and slang. I know we use colloquial language, but unless of course the slang is really appropriate, it can be quite appropriate sometimes, yeah. So just all of that. And then the great thing about this role is we also take a note of any outstanding words, idioms, phrases, expressions that people use, or thoughts, the way they put their thoughts across. So it's a bit of both, yeah. So that's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. Then June, our timekeeper.
What's the word of the day?
Sorry, the word of the day, flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted. Oh, what a beautiful word.
Shall I spell it?
Yeah, if you want to give the definition for the room as well.
So, sorry, flabbergasted means absolutely surprised and astounded. Can be used very negatively or positively. Flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. There we go.
Flabbergasted. So did our members online get that word? Okay, and then June, if you can explain the timekeeper's role, please. Okay. So if you just stand here so the members online can see.
So I'm the timekeeper for tonight. I will be monitoring the times of the speeches, which will be there's one speaker that's going to be doing between 4 and 6 minutes. Actually 2, I think. And then 2 that are doing between 5 and 7 minutes. The table topics is between 1 and 2 minutes. And then the evaluations between 2 and 3. So, for example, if it's between 4 and 6 minutes, I'll show the green card on 4, then the orange one on 5, and the red one I'll hold up for 6, so that the speaker knows that they need to get to the end of their speech and try and put it into the time that they're given, so that they have a structured speech, and if it does fit into the time that they are assigned. Yes.
Then we have Sean, our fines master, if you would like to come and explain that role, please.
Hi, everyone. So the fine master role is just a bit of light-hearted fun that we have, where we can kind of like just poke fun at things we do during the night. So what I'm looking for is things you say, maybe even things you do. And I did ask you all to bring your coins. So those that didn't bring coins, I actually put some coins on the table. And I know someone came in and said, is someone sitting at the seat? Because I saw everyone standing and they didn't want to sit down. And they said, no, but there's someone sitting here. I said, why do you think there's someone sitting there? No, there's coins there. I said, those are for you. So please give generously when we give the coins. And tonight, we're not taking IOUs. Thank you.
And then we have our evaluation. We can't have a speech without feedback, because that's how we learn and grow, the things we're doing well. So Lawrence, our consummate evaluator, if you can please come and introduce or advise us of the objectives of Richard's speech.
So evaluation is critically important, because we cannot improve what we don't know is wrong. And that's what an evaluator does. We focus on giving more positives than negatives, because our main goal as evaluators is to get the person to speak again. And today, Richard is going to be giving us his first ever icebreaker speech. After the speech, the tradition is for us all to give a standing ovation as an extra sign of encouragement. And really the objective and the goal here is just to let us get to know you and speak for between 4 to 6 minutes. And lastly, to have fun. So to Richard, do you want me to introduce or you doing the speech title? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
So if you can help me welcome Richard Greaves with True to Form, Richard Greaves. So if you stand here with it, can you see? Oh, no, you can move it a little bit.
Okay. Let's quickly arrange things. Okay.
Oh.
I see.
Perfect.
The great Renaissance artist Michelangelo once said that the forms of all of his sculptures were already existent inside the marble, and that he was merely liberating them. He could stand before a huge block of stone and see the forms locked inside in his mind's eye before he even picked up a chisel. Forms of unimaginable beauty, patiently waiting to be released. Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Richard, and this evening, with your help, we will be continuing work on a sculpture, unveiling a little bit of who I am. Revealing myself is not something that comes naturally to me. Of my emotion, the people who know me here in the audience can tell you that if you come to me for a shoulder to cry on, you'll leave with a very detailed plan of how to solve all of your problems, and I will escape with dry shoulders. So we're really going to have to chisel away some layers to shed some light on who I am. So let's start at the beginning. I grew up in Johannesburg with my mother, my uncle, and my grandmother. My mother is a decisive and action-oriented person, and she got rid of my dad when I was about 1 year old. Given my dad's short tenure, I was an only child, am an only child. And the thing about being an only child is you only have adults to speak to at home. And I think that that helped, well, that's what helped form me into an 85-year-old man by the time I was 5. My mother maintains I was an old soul from the get-go. Now I'm forgetting everything. As a young kid, I really reveled in being in my own head. Before I could read, I would pore over magazines and articles, looking at the pictures there and imagining how everything worked and interacted with the world around it. I became really fixated with how objects worked, and I developed a favorite pastime, which was disassembling everything in the house, which my mother didn't love because she had very little use for a disassembled TV, no matter how much I insisted the internals were interesting. In any case, I was deeply curious about how the world worked, and I declared that I was going to become an engineer before I even entered primary school. The deep, burning desire to build things and to create and to learn about them is a really fundamental part of who I am. I have a really visual imagination, and nothing brings me more joy than to bring the figments of my imagination into reality and to share my thoughts and ideas with others. This has really defined most of my life to date. After I finished high school, where I met my best friend and fellow Toastmaster, Tall Paul over there, Taller Paul, I applied to university with only one thing on the application sheet, which I'm sure you can guess by now was engineering, mechanical engineering. And despite the difficulty of the courses, I really, really loved it. At university, I accomplished 2 things that I'm proud of, one less important than the other. The first thing is I managed to graduate top of class, which is an okay achievement. The second thing, more improbable, was finding a wife in the engineering faculty. Fast forward 2 years, well, to 2 years ago, and 3 like-minded builders and I co-founded De Novo Food Labs. De Novo is a company with a fairly modest mission of totally overhauling the way food is produced worldwide. That company provides a sink for our collective energy and our will to build, to build the company, to build relationships, and to build the future. While I am quite reserved with my emotions, I am not reserved with my enthusiasm and my energy. While I keep a lot of things to myself, I feel compelled to share my vision with others. My vision of an advanced future without scarcity, where everyone in this room and everywhere else is free to express themselves in great works, just like Michelangelo. I learned something about myself when writing this speech. I realized that I connect with people through my ideas and the things that I make and the thoughts that I share. And so tonight, I would encourage you all, challenge you all to do the same, to take a small step back, to look at yourself, not look too hard, just to see what you already know is there and to release it. Thank you. One minor question before we continue, because I'm slightly red-green colorblind, and when they held up orange paper, I thought my time was up. So there's a mystery paragraph I left out there. I speak that shit on the blog.
So to those members online, where Richard was just saying that he misread one of the cards and he left out some information. So you'll have to share the link to his blog so we can get that bit of information that we've missed. We also, as you've noted, the time is going to change, so we're just going to, for our members online, if you can disconnect and reconnect, is it the same link or a different
There'll
link?
be a link on the group.
Okay, so they're going to share a link on the WhatsApp group. If you can connect to that link, and we will then continue the meeting.
Okay.
And then you just make me the host.
Is it in the chat group if you want to share what you want to start, stop, and continue? And we had members in the group share that now in the room while we were waiting to continue the meeting. And if any of those who shared want to share it on the chat group so that our members online can actually see what it is you shared in the meeting while we had the bit of a break, that would be awesome. If you want to just get a photograph and share it. Then we have our next speaker, which is Jeremy, who will be evaluated by Olga. If you could please come and give the objectives for Jeremy's presentation.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to be evaluated the first time in my life. And it will be my friend Jeremy. So lucky you. What I'm going to do, I will see your structure, right? Speech of your structure, sorry. The message, specific and general purpose. Then body language, eye contact, and all. And then language, voice, and delivery. So, good luck.
If you can help me welcome Jeremy Hamilton with The Secret of Fulfilling Your Dreams, The Secret of Fulfilling Your Dreams, Jeremy Hamilton.
Right. A few years ago, every bookstore I would visit would have a bestseller, a common bestseller, with an orange book, white letters saying the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I'm gonna need the points. Captivated by this title, I decided to give it a go and start reading. In his book, Mark Manson talks about many things. One of the specific things I loved was his dream of becoming a famous, legendary guitar player. He envisioned standing in front of thousands on a sold-out concert world tour. Eager to fulfill his dream, he grabbed his guitar, started playing, realized pretty quickly you had to get real good. You had to practice hours and hours on end, alone, by himself. No screaming fans. Guess what he did? He quit. He gave up. He's like, no, I'm not willing to endure the hardship that it takes to fulfill this dream. I'm not going to do this. When I was reading this passage, I was remembered of my own journey because me too, wanted to become a rock star. I wanted to become a drummer, which is obviously a lot cooler. Eager to get, let me back up. My father took me at the age of 14 to a concert where it all began because I went to see the Drum Ambassadors, two legendary drummers that would face off during a 3-hour drum battle. I was looking at it in awe, the sheer power, the volume, the groove. It was just, I could feel it in my bones. And in all honesty, right there, right then, I decided I'm going to become a drummer too. And so I got a kit. I got a drum teacher, I joined a rock band, and I even auditioned for the Rock Academy in Tilburg, the Netherlands. For auditioning, we recorded a track and I sent it by email. Guess what happened? I made it through. However, that was step one. Step two was, it was showtime. I had to perform in front of my judge, my teacher, the track. So on this fateful day, the band and I went to the Rock Academy. We set up shop in the simple rehearsal studio that smelled like sweat, burnt electronics, and the lamps were too well lit. It was very bright. I set up my kid, had a bit of a nervous laugh, nervous breakdown, looked at the clock, my heart started pumping. We're about to play. Door opens, drum teacher comes in, sits down, he says, thank you for coming, guys. Whenever you're ready, play your track. I look at the band eagerly expecting them to start playing the intro, but meanwhile, I'm like, hold on. I recall this face. It's one of the drummers of the Drumbassadors. And I lose it. Meanwhile, the band started playing and I had to reshift my focus and I went and I dived in. Obviously, I was nervous beyond, well, I kind of lost it, but I think I did an okay job, playing. We finished. I looked at my idol, eagerly expecting him to say, I got nothing. His face was blank. His body language revealed nothing. Stood up, he said, playing drums for you, better as a hobbyist. And he walks up. And I'm like, I didn't speak. I was devastated. I couldn't speak for hours. 2 weeks later, I received an official letter, which basically said much the same, that I wasn't really a capable drummer and that I shouldn't really do it. I went to my drum teacher and I told him, this breaks my heart. Look, what the hell happened? He's like, Jeremy, you did great. You made a track. You're 18, you're full of potential. You sent the track, you got in to the next round. You lost it probably because you're too nervous. Happens to the best of us. In fact, when I did it the first time, I didn't go through, or I didn't, made it. So I dedicated my life to practice for a whole year, came back, auditioned, got in. Inspired by these words of affirmation and wisdom, I went to my personal rehearsal studio, sat behind my drums, started playing alone, by myself, with no screaming fans, and I lasted for 2 hours. And then I said, I quit. I do not want to sit in this room that smells like sweat, burnt electronics apparently, and I didn't like the lights either. I'm not going to do this for a whole year. I got better things to do. And I still play to this day. I still jam. I still play with bands. I just lost, or I gave up on the dream of becoming a professional musician to be on the stage like that legendary drummer. Just like Mark, it took me a bit, to be honest, because it was harsh feedback, and honestly, I wasn't ready for that at the time. I don't think it was appropriate either, but I learned something valuable. Just like Mark had given up on his dream because he didn't enjoy the process. The same applied to me. Which, if you think about it, if fulfilling your dream feels like hard work, are you pursuing the right dream? What if fulfilling your dreams feels like hard work, where you lose yourself? There's no such thing as time. Every chore is an invitation for your life's true calling. And suddenly you radiate, you welcome it, you embrace it. There's no plan B. This is what I'm about to do. If you look at the dreams in your life, what kind of work are you doing?
Wow. Second speech. I think he's going to go very far and will very soon reach those millions of people. Your presentation 2 weeks ago and today, fantastic. Thank you for sharing such words of wisdom, and I love that heart work. Yeah, because it's all about not working in the wax.
Credits due to his own severity, said, well, hard work.
Hard work, a verity. Ha. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, because I hadn't heard that. So thank you again to our master and our amazing Verity. So well done. Thank you, Jeremy. Then we have our third presentation, and Sean will be introducing.
Stuart isn't here, right?
No. Luke Stewart's not here.
It's other Luke that's here.
Oh, sorry.
So
Okay.
He's cancelled.
Okay, all right.
we got Luke's confused.
Oh, I got my Luke's confused. Sorry. We have too many Pauls and Lukes and Richards. Then we have our Libby, who is online, will be giving if you could please give the criteria for Paul's speech, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay,
It's
hold on, we
my
can't hear you, Libby.
I'm off mute, so I don't know why you can't hear me.
Let me just check the sound.
Sorry, Libby, we're just having a moment, just check the sound, because we can't hear you.
Okay, you're on the right sound, right now.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me now?
Got you. Okay. Yes.
Try again, Libby.
Good evening, everybody. It is my privilege to introduce Paul to you this evening. Paul is on his third pathway on innovative planning. And the purpose of his project tonight is to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. This project is focusing on using stories in a speech or creating a speech that is a story. The member may use any type of story, personal, well-known, fiction, or one of his own creation. I look forward to evaluating you tonight, Paul. All the best.
Thank you. So help me welcome Paul Goremans with Yes You Can, Paul Goremans.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Now, who in this audience ever run a marathon? 1, 2. 3. What's the length of a marathon?
42
So yeah, I did
kilometers and 195 meters.
100%. Now, what is an ultra marathon? Is anything?
56.
Oh, it can be 50, it can be 100, it can be 150. And there is a marathon between Sydney and Melbourne, 875 kilometers. Now, a couple of years ago, it was in 1982, just write down the name Cliff Young. Cliff Young was at the start of that marathon from Sydney to Melbourne. He was a farmer. He came with his gumboots. He had his little jacket. And people say, sir, what are you doing here? Well, my dream is to run a marathon. And all the young guys came with the Nikes and whatever, Adidas, fed up, all the vitamins, all the sport gears, and he came with his gumboots. He had a secret because he never ran a marathon before. He never read a booklet about how to run a marathon. So they start very fast to run, and he slowly. What he didn't know is that all the people who were trained, they said you have to run 16 hours or 18 hours and you have to sleep 6 hours. He ran 22 hours the first day. Second day, he took the lead. He finished in 5.5 days in front of the second one, who finished about 1 day later. He did not even know that there was a check of $10,000 at the end, at the finish line. He gave $2,000 to each of them who finished just behind him. So he split the money. He didn't get anything for himself. Now, I believe this is a wonderful story. And the journalist asked, but sir, what had you into your mind? What were you thinking while you're running 22 hours a day? What were you thinking? I said, well, I'm a poor farmer. I don't even have a tractor. So when there's a storm, I'm running behind my cattle and I'm running behind my sheep, sometimes for 2 days. And I just had my sheep and my cattle in front of me for 5.5 days, leading me to the finish line. Now, this comes back to Napoleon Hill, who says, what the mind can conceive, you can achieve. I've been running a marathon for 6 months now. Starting in February, the 22nd of February, installing a big biomass boiler. It was really a marathon. 600 tons of steel. The building was 17,000 cubic meters, more than 6 kilometers of wires, 1.5 kilometers of piping, big piping to put in. I was pushing my teams 7 days a week. Not 5 days, not 6 days, 7 days. From 7:30 to 6 o'clock. I won't say with the whip. As a leader, you can't do it with the whip. You need to be in front. So I was guiding the crane because we were behind in our promise to the client. We made it. Last Thursday, we lit on the fire. It was like a feast. We did it, you know. And what is amazing is not only the achievement, is what you want out of your life. And what is important for me is try to reduce the carbon emission. That's the mission of our company. Now, I believe last week you had some floods in Cape Town, not only in Cape Town, also I heard in New York, in Greece, where I'm next week, it's also burning. So you see that is a climate change. And this project that we did, you know, I can tell you about the tons of carbons, but it's difficult to imagine the tons of carbon. I will tell you it's about 550,000 tons that we will save for the 15 years. Now, if you want to bear with me, I ask you to close your eyes, but I know that a lot of you will not even close your eyes, but just try to close your eyes. Now, imagine that you're here in Cape Town and you see a truck with those big vessels, it's 30 tons in a truck. And you drive on the N2, you go to Worcester to whatever, Rivers on the Dell, then you go to Mossel Bay and to George. And you're driving for 5.5 hours. 5.5 hours, and you will see trucks after trucks, bumper after bumper, of liquid carbon into those trucks. And that's the amount of carbon that we're going to save in this project over the 15 years. So now you can open your eyes. You know, it's about creating a better world. Now, you have the one story of Cliff Young and my story. Both, I would call it an ultra marathon. And what brings us together? I think, first of all, a goal. His goal was to finish his marathon from Sydney to Melbourne. My goal was to finish my ball house at Aspen in Port Elizabeth within the time. Unfortunately, not in budget, but okay, it's fine, not a problem. Then I think the second important thing is about perseverance and character. I heard the word character from, the character comes in fact from a Greek word, which is chisel. And it's like a marble that you use to chisel, and that's the word character. So it's forming yourself. So our second common goal or common point, I think, is character and perseverance. And then thirdly, I think is about the subconscious mind, where you can form yourself and you can think that you can achieve it. And you have to believe in yourself. It's by inducing it, by working a subconscious mind, that you are going to achieve it. So I would just conclude. Yes, you can too. Yes, you can also do it. Thank you.
Amazing. People making it happen. Just perseverance, setting that goal, one dreaming, making the decision to do something about it and setting the goals, committing to it and taking action. And all of our speakers have shared their stories of commitment and taking action to achieve what they'd set out to do. I would like to call on the timekeeper to please give our June, if you can give our timekeeper's report, please. Please.
Thank you, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, so the first speaker, Richard, with the icebreaker was 5 minutes and 38 seconds, which is well within the time given of 4 to 6 minutes. Jeremy was 6 minutes 20 and you had 5 to 7 minutes, so that was great. And Paul, 5 to 7 minutes, and you did it in 6 minutes and 27 seconds, so also perfect.
And then if everybody can please vote for the best speaker, use the, oh, are you going to send it on the WhatsApp group?
I'll share it now.
Okay. So if everybody can vote for the best speaker, and then we're going to go into the break. So we are now only 5 minutes behind schedule. And that is the role of the Toastmaster of the evening. It is to, when we are running out of time, is to find a way to bring us back onto time. So not bad, we're only 5 minutes rather than about 20 odd minutes, 26 minutes behind. So the
5 minutes later, so 25 minutes.
Oh, are we going to keep the 20-minute break then? Okay. All right. So if the members online, if you can be back at 25 minutes past, if everybody in the room can be seated at about 23 minutes so that we can start at 25 minutes past, I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much and enjoy the break. There is, Justine, on the Wi-Fi, do we have the code? I mean, sure. All of these, the woohoo notes. Please remember to write words of encouragement, something that you enjoyed about somebody's speech. Give them some encouragement and show them what value you got out of their presentation. And then please share that with them after the meeting. We're going to, on our first evaluator, Lawrence, who, if you can please come and deliver your evaluation.
True to form by Richard. Let me start off by saying I was flabbergasted at the quality of your presentation for the first ever speech. Man, that was really good. Some of the things that I specifically liked, your introduction was powerful, and most newbies don't get this right. But you paused, and then you introed with that Michelangelo quote about liberating the art and how you were going to liberate and reveal yourself today. I thought that was fantastic. The words you used were concise and captivating. Unveiling who I am. Master of rationality, deeply curious. I also think your humor was well placed and was really engaging. Just some that came to mind. If you come to me with your problems, you're going to leave with a very detailed plan and I will leave with a dry shoulder. I thought that was brilliant. And then how your mom got rid of your dad early. So a little bit sad, but quite funny as well. And then the point of this speech is to introduce yourself, to tell a story, to break the ice. And I think you did that perfectly. You spoke about growing up with your mom in Joburg, being the disassembling TVs and nightmare child that all of us are in our own shape, way and form with our parents, to overhauling entire industries. I really liked how you kind of gave us a glimpse into your world. Some areas to improve, although I think it was a solid first speech, and I'm actually grasping at straws here, but we are here to improve. So I will give you some things to potentially look at. The first one is bringing in a bit more variety in your voice and potentially facial features. I think you use great words, great stories, great humor, but it felt a bit monotone at times. And what's powerful is when you can be congruent with your face, with your emotions, and with what you say. Because no one's going to believe me if I say I'm so sad today. It was a really tough day. Or I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much. When you don't have that congruence between, so the best advice I can give you is first to think about what you want to say, feel it, and then express it. And there were some times you spoke about being an enthusiastic and energetic individual. That's where you can bring in the face, the voice, And then the second one is you obviously forgot your speech at some point. I think we all know the feeling. We hate the feeling. As an experienced speaker, I know the feeling, and there's not much you can do other than what you did, which is take a bit of a pause, a deep breath. Don't apologize. Just try and get back on track. So in summary, your introduction was powerful. You used great, concise, and captivating words. Your humor was well placed and engaging, and your story was relevant. And we also got to see a slightly vulnerable side to you. Some areas to improve. Being the engineer and the analytical person is probably not natural, but to bring in a bit of that emotion, to bring in the vocal variety, the facial expressions. The thing I like most is that you closed how you ended with Michelangelo and tying it all together with a beautiful golden thread. Looking forward to your next one.
And if we can have Olga, if you can come and give the evaluation of Jeremy's speech.
I was flabbergasted. Yeah. Jeremy was very ready for second speech. After first speech, right? After the months ago. Anyways, Jeremy, Mr. Hamilton, you converted your dream into reality. And the message was absolutely delivered. You made the audience engaged in your journey. You asked questions and we were with you in the journey. It's an excellent delivery. What may want to work on? I was a bit confused with the ending. When you asked the question, I was still expecting you to say something. And then it was like pause, weird pause. But then we realized that this is the end. And to challenge yourself, please remember that you are a winner, a champion, the greatest leader, and lose those nerves gently.
And then online, Libby, if you could please give Paul's Paul's evaluation. Just going to check the sound. Libby, if you can talk so we can see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Is it possible to have Paul stand there while I talk to him so I'm not talking to the curtain? Can I see where? I can't see where Paul is. Ah, there's Paul. There's Paul. Thank you, Paul.
It's nice to have all those ladies around me who lost me, so it's okay.
Paul, what an absolute honor and privilege that was for me to listen to your speech. And it's my first evaluation tonight, so you've made my job very, very easy. You more than fulfilled your criteria to tell a story within a story. I absolutely loved your powerful opening, how immediately you got your audience involved. And you asked not one, but 2, 3 questions about marathons. Your story, starting with Liv Yang, got me flabbergasted because my husband is a farmer and he's a marathon runner. So immediately you had me captivated how he could possibly go running in his gumboots. You really owned the story. You told it with such passion. And your body language and your eye contact and how you used the stage, we really felt that we were there with that man that was doing this heroic thing. I loved the way how you weaved your personal story into this, because you left us with the story of this incredible man doing this marathon. And I was flabbergasted at how you managed to weave it into your own story of your own marathon of what you were doing. I loved your visualization, how you got us to close our eyes and to envisage what it would be like to be traveling all the way. If I could speak about something that you could improve, which I really battled to find, because I found this speech absolutely captivating and excellent. You owned the stage. But one area that I noticed in terms of your voice was when you were telling your story. You told an amazing story, but when you were relating to your workers, your voice could have had a little bit more volume, maybe a little bit more characterization. You seemed to slow down a little bit when you were referring to your own story. And my advice is that your story is as fascinating as Liv's story. So own your story, use your voice, use the stage the way that you did. So in closing, I would just like to congratulate you on a wonderful opening, a powerful message. Your passion and purpose for climate change comes through in what you were saying. You inspired all of us to think about what we can do, how we can bring our own stories. And I love the way you ended with, yes, you can. I look forward to hearing more speeches from you, Paul. Well done.
All around, for all the people around, the name is Cliff Young. Yeah. Cliff Young, 1983. If you want to Google it, if you want to use it for your own story.
Cliff Young.
Young, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then June, if you could please come and give the times for the evaluations, please.
Okay, thank you. Big surprise, Lawrence. Did your evaluation in exactly 3 minutes? Exactly. Not even a second. Olga was 1 minute and 11 seconds. Well done on doing your first one. And Libby was 2 minutes and 45 seconds, which is perfectly in time. So well done as well.
And now if you can welcome Lawrence to come and do the table topics for us.
Good evening. And welcome to the 72nd episode of the award-winning US TV sitcom, Love is Blind. And today we have a lovely young lady who has kissed too many frogs and is looking for her prince. And I'm really hoping that of our 3 frogs today, she will find the man of her dreams. So first, I would like to welcome our glamorous bachelorette, Joni. Would you come and join me up on stage, please? Can we give her a round of applause? That's our I hate you face, if I've ever seen one. Would you mind standing on that side for me, please? And then I have 3 victims that have agreed to come and pitch themselves. So can I please get Tall Paul, Luke, and Richard to come and join us on stage as well, please. Yeah, you guys can just stand in line here. Okay, so the game is really simple. It's a little different take on table topics. Instead of giving a theme, we're going to have a bit more of an impromptu dramatization of this award-winning show that I just made up. And what's going to happen is I've got a few cue cards here. The first cue card has got a profession. Now, the profession is not the normal IT professional. It's quirky, it's weird, and I'm going to give one to each person. You can have a look at it so long. Watch their faces just to see how extreme their role might be. And I've got a few other cue cards. I've got a few other cue cards, and as we go through the evening and as we start doing more and more impromptu, I'll just deliver them. But anyway, I'd like to start here with our lovely bachelorette while our gentlemen over here panic over their role. And firstly, I'd just like to ask you who you are, what you do, and what you are looking to get out of a man.
Okay, so I'm Joni, and I am the lovely bachelorette currently this evening. And I'm looking for the man whose career is making me the most money so that he can support my shopping habits and my business. And Yeah.
And I see here that your business is hair salon. You
Yes.
run your own hair salon,
Yes.
specifically focused on braiding hair.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
It's actually a very long and complicated story. So
Fantastic. And what is your dream date, just so that our gentlemen over here know how to kind of position themselves?
dream date.
Mm.
Well, given that I run a hair salon, dream date would be a man showing me their hair braiding skills. And may the best braider win.
Fantastic. I think we've got a good contest over here. Can we start with eligible bachelor number one? Luke, do you want to just tell us who you are and what your profession is?
Hi everyone, my name's Luke, and I think I'm the best fit for the bachelorette this evening because I'm an East medicine witch doctor. Part of our rites of passage is to braid, one single dread that we then cut off once we're ready. And I'm definitely fit for that, and I make a lot of money because everyone comes to me for the muti. So I think I'm very well equipped to, buy whatever you need, whether it be a mansion, holidays across the world, all around, all year round. And these two little frogs are perfect for my little concoction. So pick them up and make some muti out of them.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Luke. That was better than I was expecting from someone who's brand new into Toastmasters. I like it. Yeah. Richard, eligible bachelor number two.
You are just the lovely.
This is who you're trying to win over tonight.
Hi, Johnny. My name is Richard. The name's Richard. Parachute testing's my game. And I'm brilliant at it. And what makes me so eligible is the fact that if you understand how parachutes work and are put together, they require an incredible amount of weaving. Those strands have to be so strong. They need to be well put together. And they need to work together. The whole image and the aesthetic needs to work together for an even drop through the air. Just like you want the hair to drop well, that parachute needs to drop evenly and well for safety and for the person's ultimate enjoyment. And in the event, now, because of the risk, implicit risk in my job, I actually earn an extremely high amount of money. And the best part is, if I don't make it, there's a fabulous payout on my demand.
You guys do realize this is just a joke, okay? We're not actually trying to convince this girl to marry us, but that was fantastic. Okay, eligible bachelor number three, the set.
All right.
It's over to you.
So, my name is Tall Paul, but after an accident, then I call me More Paul because I'm a mountain lion tamer. And you might ask, what could a hairdresser do with a mountain lion tamer? Well, we're expanding our business to actually braid the hair of the mane of the lion. It attracts tourists, it brings in money, and yeah, what I can't bring in material wealth, we can bring in with the wealth of experience. We all know means something, right? And the black market for mountain lions is very difficult.
Cool. So we have a witch doctor specializing in muti. We have an expert parachute tester who's got a massive life insurance. And then we have more Paul, who can show you the starlights at night. What questions do you have for each of the bachelors so that you can get to know them a bit better and find out who's the one for you?
Okay. So I'd like to ask the witch doctor, would you mind please telling me about your most recent witch doctor case and how you handled that?
So during the World Cup, the Irish coach contacted me to maybe put in a little bit of magic there. Obviously it worked. So testament to my skills. Maybe not the most ethical, but listen, that's what pays the bills. That's why I'm loaded with money. Right. Under the table.
Excellent, that's information I want.
material girl, aren't you?
Said it right from the get-go.
Hey, listen, if you don't like what me taking care of my knots, you can get knotted there. I do take care of my knots. They're not so important because the clientele's important, the company's important. The company doesn't make money if my parachutes don't open and don't hold the weight of the parachutist. That is a certain business failure, and it's a very final business failure. So you can be sure that I know how to knot, I know how to tie, and how to tie people up as well.
Oh! Okay, we've got a final bachelor. Any questions for Torpo?
We just recover. Okay, tell me about some of the wildest experiences you've had on the mountain with the lion.
Well, this one time some witch doctor came and stole one of them for nothing. So I don't know what happened. If I find him though, he's in trouble. And the wildest experience I had was when so turns out that mountain lions you don't find only on mountains, right? So I was trying to tame this mountain lion, and unfortunately it went into the water. It was swimming. I chased after it. I was swimming. We were swimming together. It took me out for dinner. Very, very wild mountain lion. And at the end of the day, I never saw that mountain lion again.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, we're heating up. I think, do you have your favorite yet? Do you know where you're leaning towards? Can you give me an indication? Am I getting hotter or colder? Where am I sort of getting hotter? No, that looks cold. Yeah. Oh, is it the knot man?
It's the knot man.
Now, gentlemen, you have your final pitch. I'm going to give you two cue cards. The one has an activity, which is the ideal date that you are going to spoil this lovely lady with. And the other one is the dinner that will be enjoyed afterwards. Now, again, as the occupations were kind of weird, these are equally weird. So there are your cue cards. Have a second to look through it. While you're trying to rack your brain on how you're going to make that stuff sound romantic, would you like to tell us what your ideal perfect date would be? An activity followed by what your favorite meal would be.
Okay, so I mean, obviously being a very materialistic girl,
Obviously.
it's got to be a fancy dinner. It's got to be on a yacht. We've got to have the sunset. We've got to have the lobster. We've got to have. It's just got to be that materialistic girl dream date.
Your classic braided girl
Yeah.
that has a hair salon,
Yeah.
living in an island somewhere on a yacht.
Yeah.
That kind of classic.
And exactly what you'd expect. There's nothing weird happening here.
Yeah.
Only here.
Okay. Does that give you guys enough context?
Assistance quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Oh shit, okay. This one? Okay, just the pronoun.
Okay, so we're going to start with eligible bachelor Paul, who is he ranking third or second?
He's.
Not
I mean,
ranking.
these two aren't rankable, to be honest.
Yo, guys, you've got to step up your game because Not Man is going away with it. So
my dream date as a mountain man tamer, spend a lot of time alone, and the place I'd take a material girl is obviously a strip club on a Monday. Quiet, just the two of us, some other people, and I think you could find a lot of clientele. There's lots of braids, lots of hair to be braided, lots of other materialistic people walking around there, I'm sure. And pretty sights, right? And that's important. You know, it's romantic to see beautiful things. So at the strip club, right? I'm going to order my cliche dish. I actually spoke to the chef beforehand, and I lavishly provided all the materials for it as well. So he's going to provide you with the most delectable 2-minute noodles that you've ever had. It's going to be gold leaf, it's going to be, you know, silver platter, the full through back rack will be on. And to chase it for dessert, obviously, besides yourself, you're going to have strawberry milkshakes. And really, I think by the end of this night, the show will no longer be Love is Blind, but Love was blind.
Yes, he's coming for the running hard there again, guys. Okay, Knockman still in the lead. So Luke, over to you. Time to wow her.
Cool, I mean, got a very fitting activity. So instead of having a sunset, what about playing with the Ouija board for until 6 a.m. and we watch the sun rise? And then once that's done, we'll definitely be flying around in a plane because the yacht's cool, but that's been done before. I think we should have dinner on an airplane watching the sunrise. And a little birdie gave me a call during the week, and he told me that certain parachute companies not doing so well for their business. This said CEO of an insurance company says he's not making as much money as he could, so he wants to get rid of him. Just putting it out there. I'm cooking up a little meal, but on the plane I've prepared a beautiful, delectable barbecue, mouth-watering stuff. And if you want to lose weight, we've just thrown in a little bit of deli belly on top. Some say that dietitians hate me, you know, personal trainers hate me too. I can make you lose 10 kilos in one night. Luckily, we've got an airplane, so we'll just drop the stuff on the people below us and land and fly into the sunrise. I don't know, yeah. That's difficult.
Okay, last but not least, Richard, how are you going to wow this lady?
Joni, I'll never make an allusion to your weight. You're perfect. How would you like to spend 3 months? My date is on my super yacht. How would you like to be tied up for 3 months in a wonderful super yacht, enduring a lockdown that other people have to be frustrated about, and enjoy some unique, delicate foods that will tickle your palate, especially for seafoods? I have snails here, snail ribs. It tastes like calamari because, you know, snails don't really have ribs. I don't know where Lawrence got it from. Lawrence got it from, but the idea is that they're soft, succulent, and delicious. And they have a slight calamari overtone. And then, of course, the slightly burnt oysters, which give them this quality of just slipping down your throat. And spending this time enjoying these wonderful meals in a serene seaside environment of port of your choice. Oh, and I'm thinking Monaco.
I don't know. This is a tough decision to make.
Oh, there's strip clubs there.
You've got the Deli Belly chef. You've got being tied up on a boat. You have strip club on a Monday because it's quiet. Do you have any final questions? Let's see. Short list it to the one you like the most and ask that person the last final question to make your decision.
So I've completely changed my preference
I
because
thought so.
of the 2-minute noodles.
Oh.
I didn't know I needed that until I heard that. So thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Guys, can we give them a big round of applause, please? Sure. You know how they say no one enjoys their own jokes more than themselves? I don't know if you guys noticed me, but I was tearing up for the majority of that speech. But thank you so much for everybody. I know that was a bit uncomfortable, but you all stepped up. You had fun. You made it a joke. Joni, thanks. I know that was a bit awkward, but these guys are not actually chasing me. It was part of the rouge, and I hand over back to our Toastmaster. Thank you.
Right. Very creative, Lawrence. I don't think we've had really making people think out of the box. Well done. Comedy Central. June, if you can please give our timekeepers. Oh, yeah, no, actually, I think that's going to be impossible. Yeah, no. Oh, is the time to evaluate? Oh, we've done that. Sorry. Okay. Then we need to vote for the best evaluator and best table topic. So if everybody can do that quickly. Yeah. Okay. Then we have our role players. If our O counter, Justine, if you can come up and give your report, please.
Sure. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to be called. The table topics I didn't really take note of. I'm sorry because it was too funny. So you all let off the book for that. Claire, sure. I'm so impressed with you. I literally, I might have gotten distracted, but I have one R and one
Oh my goodness.
Can you speak to those? Catherine, your crutch word is I'm just giving everyone's crutch word. And then June, yours is so. So be mindful of that. Sean, I only heard one like. So you've got like me. Lawrence, I couldn't hear anything from you. Well done. Richard, oh, I mean, you spoke twice. Well, yeah, you did speak. No, you spoke once. But you had two words and only once. And so. Olga, also only one for each of R and so. Jeremy, your crutch word is R. For Gormans, I heard nothing. Libby, I just heard a crutch word of And then Luke, I just heard one Oh, but we're ignoring those because they were table topics. So, and that's it. Thank you.
Well, I'm flabbergasted that I didn't get 50 ums or ers or so's, because so is one of my favorite words. Then if Catherine, if you can come and give your grammarian's report, please.
So, Madam President, Madam Toastmasters and guests, so the grammarian report. I didn't hear many people use flabbergasted. I'm not sure it was just me. I heard Olga use it once. I heard Libby use it 3 times, and I heard Claire use it twice. Perhaps I missed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so as far as the grammarian report goes, I was really, really impressed, and especially for my students, because the sentence structure and the grammar and everything, and I really listened, was very good. I think people were very conscious of using the correct whatever. So I'll just start here. Jeremy, I would just be careful because Toastmasters is quite formal. I would just be a little bit careful with what the fuck. And I don't. It sounds super, but I think if you enter and say if you get and I mean you are a very natural speaker, everyone knows that, and I think you've got enormous talent. But I think if you am I right to say if you're in a competition or something, they could mark you down because it is about public speaking and using English correctly. So just a note there. But very expressive all the more. Richard, I think awesome to start with such a beautiful quote. And I think that was it Jeremy that started with the quote, was it?
Yeah,
Richard, sorry, the other Richard, yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Yes, you did start with a quote, Richard, hey. So I think that's a beautiful example because it's always very powerful to start and end with a quote. So I think that was very effective that you did that. Yeah. Revealing myself. I thought that was a lovely expression because it really gave us the impression that you were opening up and we were getting to know Richard. So I think that's such a super expression. And I always think that expression, fast forward 2 years, is really so effective, isn't it? Because it's so punchy, you know, that fast forward 2 years. So it was really lovely to hear you throw that in. And I think expression with it, compelled to share was also super. You know, a word like compelled is so wordy, but it's so kind of, we forget to use those words sometimes. So compelled to share was delightful. Just back to Jeremy. Jeremy. I think inspired by these words of wisdom is super. And I think well done for bringing really kind of using words so effectively like that. And hard work. And I know you gave the tribute to Verity for that, but you used it so beautifully. Such a lovely expression, hard work. So for my students, I would say that's quite a colloquial expression. It's not slang and it's not formal English, but it's quite colloquial, so it's effective. Yeah. Paul, just be careful. You said he ran 22 hours. He runs. Pretty simple. He runs. Yeah. This comes back to what the mind conceives you can achieve. That was awesome. And I think how lovely if you throw in with grammar and sentence structure the sort of poetry side of what the mind conceives you can achieve, and you presented that so beautifully. Then you said from 7:30 to 6 o'clock. I think when you're working with time, it's quite a good idea to maybe say from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Do you see?
7:30 to 6.
Yeah. But maybe you could say 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's just more kind of catchy. Lawrence, again, using words like captivating and engaging, I think are so effective in feedback because people remember those words. They're really great. Olga, just be careful of any ways as opposed to anyway. Yes, but anyways, and you said you made an audience engaged, so you could just say you engage the audience. Yeah. Libby, I loved you own the story. It's always so lovely to hear that expression, you own something. I think just be careful of absolutely excellent. Sounds a bit strange. I think we normally say really excellent, but we can say absolutely outstanding. It just sounds a bit strange, absolutely excellent. Lawrence, I think our ToastEd word you used, which was beautiful, quirky, one of my favorites, where we seem to use that. And no one enjoys their own jokes by themselves, so it was a great expression. Richard again. Richard, short Richard, please. I love the way you explain the word. Eligible. In the event of, which is such a super expression. I hadn't heard it went through the water. Where does that come from? It went through the water. And Paul, saying your cliche dish, delicate dishes, I think it's delicable. It's perhaps the right word. You said delicate food. I'm not sure I've heard of the word delicate food, but I've heard of delicate food. Or delicacies, yeah. Serene seaside environment. Well done, Richard, for like really trying to woo her. Yeah. So that's it. From there enough. Thanks.
And then Sean probably has been taking lots of notes. I hope you've all got your money ready, because IOUs are apparently no longer accepted. Sean, if you can come give your fine master report, please.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So first, I have Jeremy for being eager to say I do before being told what you're committed to. Let me get my
Got 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Luke again, have you got your money there, Luke, for not giving a fuck and for using foul language? Sorry, Jeremy again, sorry. And then Lou, for being a loyal follower to Jeremy and stepping up and for making Muti out of the competitors. And Catherine, for trying not to be too anal. I felt my sphincter pull when you said that. And for being flabbergasted when Paul asked her what the word of the day was. Lawrence, for being too good at evaluations. And for killing it with the table topics, date night game show, and then nearly killing himself. And so Richard, for not being a shoulder to cry on when you need one. Where's Richard? Note to self, don't ask Richard for support. You're going to walk away on your own. Yeah. And then again to Richard for being the youngest 85-year-old I ever met. I was going to call you Benjamin Button. And then Paul Goremans for tiring me out, just thinking of running 800 kilometers. I was going to go, oh, geez, no, okay, give up on that. Yeah. And then I was flabbergasted of just thinking of running that far. And then Chantal for breaking the plates and waking me up just so that I continue to. And then Richard over here for parachuting into Toastmasters from Pinelands. He's from Pinelands Toastmasters. And then Torpal for being more Paul. That was really good. And then Claire finally for making up time. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very, very much. And then Trevor, our general evaluator.
Thank you. I see there's no time constraint for me, Claire. So I have free reign.
Please don't. Remember, here's where the guys on the
Yes.
conference.
Thank you, ToastEd. It's always a privilege to come here. And most of the evaluation feedback was already done by Catherine. She stole all of my thunder. And I'll just add a little bit of here and there in terms of a practical sense and see how I can give you some tips of how you can improve. First of all, the starting was late. Now, obviously, that is due to circumstances. So when it's late next time, the sergeant in arms on 6, I don't see you have a gavel, but you generally open the meeting and then you call a recess for 5 minutes so that people can still come if they need to come. So you officially start on time, but you immediately recess and then you have wait for people to come and people to settle. So that's a nice way. We always do that. So we start on time, have a recess. If we know people are still coming, we get them to make their way to the meeting. Justine, your introduction and induction of the guests and your new members. Just felt that you were in the corner here, Maria. You lost us there at that table. And I think for practical sense, I don't know how you're going to do it. Probably move a little bit, just be aware that I know you wanted to make mention of this. And you wanted to stand here just so that you could show people your tree, but otherwise always come out so we've got audience, the view of the audience. And when you said, let's whiz around the room, look for guests. Whiz has the other connotation for guys. Look around the room to see if they are going to be guests. Because if you're going to whiz around the room, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, I love the speeches tonight. I think every speech gave us something. And I think for any speech maker and for future speech makers in your club, that's what you want, and a good speaker. If any of us leave the room remembering one thing that the speaker spoke about, then it was a good speech. Everybody remembered yours. Everybody remembered yours, and everybody remembered yours in terms of the message. And that is important, that you leave people with something. I love the way you ended. You left over, what's next? And he's only his second speech, and he already knows how a Toastmaster ends a speech. The stalwart Toastmasters never say in conclusion. He just ended it there, and we were hanging on his every word. Brilliantly done. The evaluators, clear for you, when you introduce the evaluators, they evaluate the speech, not the person. At a few occasions you said the evaluators will evaluate Richard, or is going to evaluate, and you evaluate the speech, not the person. And that's the important to remember. Table topics. Lawrence, must I let up your secret? Sure. As much as we enjoyed it, he did it on the fly. He prepared that table topics at his table when he came this evening. Right, Lawrence? But what a brilliant, innovative way of doing it. And that's what Toastmasters is about. Impromptu. That you can come up with something that is going to be captivating and, give the audience an entertainment. And that's what we got. We got entertainment, and we loved it. And the interaction by a very shy bachelorette was enticed by these, I don't know what you call them, weird bachelors. And Richard, thank goodness, the strings didn't break. And all the testing of your parachute so far, none of them failed, because you're still here. Well done on that. You just got some note wells. Yeah, I mentioned that about the corner there, Justine, and then the evaluators. I think you did an excellent job, and especially Libby. Libby's still there. Libby, I love your voice. I love Libby's voice. She does a real commanding voice, and it's like music. And the first evaluation, well done. You picked up every little aspect. I'll go for you too. Now you can grow a little bit more, give more feedback on your next one. So don't leave her off that role. If you want to grow there, shadow somebody that will help you look at the certain aspects of a speech in which you can give feedback. I always look at three things: the content, the way and the mannerism, and the body language. You break it up into those aspects, and then you watch that and you give feedback on those. The content doesn't have to be important, but it's the manner in which the person delivers the speech that enhances it. That's what the evaluator looks out for. And I enjoyed my time here this evening as general evaluator. Take what I said and implement if you have to, but this club can only grow stronger and stronger. You've got a good balance of young members, old members, so you've got a good blend. And to be at the base of 25, and now you're on 36, you see I did my homework, Madeleine, which is an example to the rest of the clubs in our area. D4 must grow this year into something magical. So I thank you very much, Justine and Sean, for the invitation. Over to you.
Thank you very much to our general evaluator. So I just want to leave something with you: the start, stop, and continue. Give that task to your friends and loved ones and help hold them accountable to it. And then, does everybody know what a 4-leaf clover is? What does it symbolize? Luck. Okay. We can make our own luck by focusing on what we want, by staying true to that, by being positive. And so I bought a little 4-leaf clover from the lovely jeweler in my business network. And imagine that you are a 4-leaf clover. You have a left hand, you have a right hand and arm, and you have a left leg and a right leg. So you but encouraging and supporting one another, and especially to our beautiful members online, Remember, you can communicate with us on the WhatsApp group, and I now yield control to Justine, our beautiful president.
Before Justin goes up, just one little aspect I remember and language reminded me. When you do the loyal toast, Justin, you all rise.
Oh, okay.
Loyal toast.
Thank you. Yeah.
36.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
Oops.
Claire, thank you so much. You are always such an amazing and engaging Toastmaster, and you hold the space beautifully and keep us engaged. Even when we're having technical difficulties with Zoom, you got everyone engaged and motivated. So thank you. We really love you being here. I'm going to just do awards quickly now before I go into everything else. So we have got our lovely Chantel being our Zoom master for this little moment. And then we can do Sally. Will you just take photos, please? Okay. Our first award of the evening. So you're going to do drum rolls with me. We'll have our best speaker. So just pick it once. Okay, drum roll next for best evaluator. But now I think you've got quite a lot of these. Can we keep one? Thank you. Okay, next. Best table topic. Thank you. Congratulations. Yay, all time. So it's a fun time. I think this evening we heard some magnificent speeches. Wow, I'm a little lost for words. The one thing, Claire, that you left me with that was quite amazing, and I've made it on this little woohoo note for myself. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Amazing. So I'm keeping that one. That's beautiful. Excuse me? Flabbergasted, yes. Okay, Richard, your speech. I'm glad you're going to be the one to solve all of our problems. So we'll come to you anytime. Get that shoulder ready. And you were so confident and so humorous, and it just sort of, your humor came naturally. So well done. Congratulations. Your first speech is tick, and now you can move on to your second speech. And then Jeremy, I felt your excitement with when you were like with your drummers. I don't remember the band's name, sorry. But
the Drum Masters.
Oh, the Drum Masters. Is that a band? Okay. I haven't heard of them, but love that you love them so much. And I could feel your excitement. It was so sweet. And I feel like it was their loss that they didn't get you. I mean, how rude. So then your one thing that I really loved was fulfilling your dreams is hard work, not hard work. That was like amazing. So thank you for sharing that. And I still need to read that book. I haven't read it, but I've heard great things about it. But I won't say the name of it right now. And then Paul, I love hearing your stories and your humor that comes into everything and your impactful words. You always have something so inspirational to share with us. So thank you for sharing that with us today. And for you, it's all about creating a better world. And we can feel that from how you speak about your passion, which is your work. So thank you. Lawrence, wow, table topics, next level. That is amazing. Really, really amazing. everyone was so brilliant. Well done to all of our bachelors and to our bachelorettes. You did a great job. We're so jealous. The person who takes on table topics next time has got some big shoes to fill. And then to all of our role players, Olga and Libby, and who else? Sean, you were a new role as fine master and evaluators. So thank you for taking on roles. Again, our roles that are filled just makes our meeting flawless and effortless. So thank you so much for that. And I'm sure Sean has kind of gathered new people for the next few meetings. Trevor, thank you so much for your observations this evening. They really were insightful. I hope I'm not doing what I was doing. And great to know about starting the meeting if we're running late, because sometimes that does happen. So it's great to have that in the back of our minds. So thank you very, very much. Before I go into my final words, I just want to check in with our guests. But first, I feel so embarrassed about this. I completely skipped one of our guests this evening while I was doing my whiz around. And I think when Richard arrived today, it was that whole thing of like, I know your face, where do we know each other from? Did you go to this club? Did you go to that club? So I feel, Richard, that we know each other so well. I just kind of skipped you. And I'm so sorry about that. But I'd like to start with you. What are you taking away from this evening tonight?
You know, I know you had your problem with starting the meeting with regard to your Zoom thing, but I encountered a level of professionalism and a setting that's probably the best setting, the nicest setting that I've been in since ever being involved in Toastmasters. So kudos for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Andrea, what are you taking home tonight?
Also a little bit on what Richard just mentioned. I think with professionalism,
oh dear.
Just makes it perfect.
Oh dear.
I'll take that back. Was really, it's inspiring. I love the speeches. I thought everybody that spoke really did a great job. Takes a lot of courage to stand up and speak in front of a crowd, certainly for me. So it was really nice to see that people do make mistakes and it's okay, and everyone allows it and still get encouraged to do so. So thank you.
Thank you. And this is a safe space to make the mistakes, because out there you want to not make as many mistakes. So here we can practice. Thank you for sharing. Trevor, I know we heard a little bit from you, but what is your takeaway from this evening? You've given me lots of takeaways.
Thanks. Yes, my takeaway is that I love the way you value living in Vegas. I think it's something that we will want to cherish. Our club is small, laden with PTMs. I would love to have young aspiring Toastmasters. And that's what I've come to learn. Every time I come here, you value them, you reward them, you give them the space to take on role in the program. So yeah, that's what I like about this club. And as Richard mentioned, the banquet arrangement works. And I know tonight you had a bit of a glitch, but it wasn't your fault. I mean, you didn't know what's going to happen, so it's off guard. But the way you manage that is like amazing. A hybrid, you kind of stay away from it because you're scared it's going to be a problem. But I think taking in from the speeches tonight, just tackle it and make it happen. And that's the good thing about this club. You know, you're innovative and for a mixture of experience and analysis. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Maybe our fairy godmother, Magdalene. I know you've been here so many times. What is your takeaway from this evening, besides our hiccup?
I'm so sorry earlier for communicating about the glitch on the Zoom account. It's not this club's fault. I want to thank you for finding out.
Before your meeting tomorrow.
The breakfast that we meet 7:30 tomorrow morning. We were going to be completely unaware of this challenge. So yeah, so you handled it very, very well. You handled it still with professionalism and nice way. And I want to echo what Trevor was saying about it's a bit of a club, but hard to remember is be connected with and made to feel special. That's what makes the club go strong. And I love the speeches because they were all
Oh, yeah, thank you. Paul, would you like to share with us, this is your second time visiting, what is your takeaway? And you participated in table topics this
Future
evening?
visits might not be as it No, I realized that I really enjoy learning not only about the people in this stuff, but I can learn a lot from them. It's really quite special. So, yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Oh, great. Thank you. You have been special students. Would you like to share a little bit of what you're taking away from the evening? Did you enjoy it? It was funny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so the point was see nice and new people and think of it evening. That's about it.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone online? Was there anyone in the room that is a ToastEd member that would just like to share what they are taking home this evening? Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to happen, but if anyone online, anyone in the room would just like to share, what are you taking home? Oh, Belinda, hi.
Hi, hi everybody. I have not here. Might not go to Jeremy because of his journey to become a drummer. What impressed me was his resilience after the first presentation, and he knew, of course, the result was not he was expected, but even so, he tried again. I hope he continues to be like that. This will bring him a lot of victorious moments. That's okay. That's what's fine.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Okay.
What really excites me is about how many new people we've got in this club and how they take on speaking roles so quickly. So just for you guys that are new, is we want to do another base camp training session, just so that we can introduce you to the pathways in the base camp. So all of the new people, I'm going to send out a note on the ToastEd group, and then just sign yourself up just to do the base camp, because it will just familiarize you with it, and we can make you comfortable, just getting into your speech, give you a mentor, just so that you can be eased into this. But I think it's fantastic the way this club has got new members that are just taking on speeches, and they're fantastic for speeches. They're really good.
Thank you, Sean. As we conclude our meeting this evening, thank you for everyone for sharing. Thank you to our guests for being here tonight. It's wonderful to have you and to hear how you are taking some of our little words of wisdom or little nuggets of advice home with you. I want you to all remember that what makes you happy lies within you, and your words and your stories and your actions have the potential to inspire and motivate everyone around you in your life. And tonight, I think we've heard all the speeches, how everyone has little bits of inspiration and little bits of wisdom that they can share that someone else needs to hear, that they might not even know that they needed to hear. Not quite, but Joni didn't even know she needed to hear that she wanted to eat 2-minute noodles. Not quite, but there are little bits of information that people share in their stories that resonates with you, and that you go home with me like, wow, that is something special. And there were loads of those tonight for me. So stop with the soap. Go out there and make it all happen. It's up to you. You've got this, and you will inspire those around you. And our next meeting is on the 24th of October. So we've got actually 3 weeks in between. So it's the 24th of October. It's online, and the theme is Finding Peace. So Finding Peace is on the 24th of October. And that concludes our meeting. Thank you, everybody.